I didn't really even believe in his prime. I'm a Conor denier. I didn't really even think his prime was his prime. I don't think he had a prime. He had good marketing. I have to remind people over and over again. I've never been dude. My first video ever on this channel was just roasting on Conor McGregor getting choked out by Nate Diaz. That's what this channel was built on. That was the foundation of this channel. Where were you when I laid the foundations of this channel? Clowning on Conor McGregor. Like, I feel like I have to defend myself and remind people, I am not a Conor McGregor fanboy. I did not buy the t-shirt. I'm not trying to defend him till the wheels fall off. It's not like that. However, I mean, I'm the last one to try to push back on a Conor revival. That's literally what the origin of this channel was. Like, that's what that was the big bang of this channel. And like to try to pretend that wouldn't be good for the UFC is ridiculous. And if you hate him and he's a terrible guy and you don't like anything about him, hey, there's people that I feel pretty terrible about that I know in real life. Hey, guess what? I would love to see them in UFC, right? Because what would happen to them? So if you really don't like Conor and you really think he's a bum and he can't fight and he has a broken leg, let him come back. Welcome him with Hams Wahoper and watch him get beat up, right? Like, where can you lose? It's win-win. It brings the excitement and enthusiasm and all the drama and the craziness and the promos. It brings all that back to the sport. But I don't like him. Hey, but aren't you also saying he's a bum and he's washed up and all that? Cool. Then stop being inconsistent. Welcome him back so he could get knocked out, right? If that's what you really believe. It doesn't make any sense. It would be amazing for him to come back and do this. By the way, what happened to all the people? Man, we just live in this time, in this culture, in this society where people they have no manners. They don't know how to apologize. I couldn't stop hearing certain sentiments about certain things, and now they moved on to the next outrage. They moved on to the next thing that they're protesting, the next thing that they're up in arms about. They moved on already. How many conversations, how many times did you guys hear me address it on here? Just people showing up. Oh, they ain't gonna do the White House. It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna do the White House fight. You think that's really gonna happen? Oh, didn't you hear about the lawsuit? They're shutting it down. It's the weather. Did you hear about the bugs? Did you hear about this? Oh, they're not doing it. That's crazy. You actually think that's gonna happen? Oh, we'll see about that. I'll believe it the night it happens. Where did they go? Did they already shut those bots down? Are they reprogramming them right now? It's insane, man. So many. Well, believe it when I see it. Why? Why don't you believe it? What is so unbelievable about this? You'll eat up the moon landing, but you don't think they're gonna fight at the White House, bro? How many? You took 8 shots. You took 8 vaccinations, but you don't think they're gonna fight at the White House? Interesting. And then the same people, you think Conor's gonna fight again? Conor will never fight again. All caps, he's never fighting again. You actually believe that, bro? He ain't gonna fight again. That's crazy, man. You guys are crazy. He's never gonna fight again. And then he's gonna fight, and then what are you gonna say? I don't understand it. They don't even like the UFC. What are they doing? I have mixed emotions about the Conor thing and how he's gonna perform. Because people are saying, well, he's not going to perform like he did in his prime. I kind of felt the way about Conor McGregor like I feel about Pereira. I don't think his resume was a lot of people, what they think it was. And I'm not saying it was padded. I'm just saying, here's what I say a lot that I've never heard anybody else say. That I think is like the mic drop. Like, bro, you can't even respond to this. People in the MMA community love to roast people, clown on them, point stuff out. Oh, fall from grace, foul off. Oh, fall off needs to be studied. Oh, like one night the dude will be the king. He'll be at next night. Oh, he was washed. It was fraud check. Blah blah blah. People just turn on him, right? But something I never hear acknowledged is there will be fighters that people clown on. They make memes about them. There's things that are very well known within the community that they don't take them seriously. They have a terrible habit as far as this. Their style's terrible as far as that. They're just never going to be champ, blah, 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 blah. But then they'll use those same fighters to build up a fighter they like. All those fighters they clown on. That guy's a punk. That guy can't fight. He only won because he was lucky. That was a favorable matchup. And this only happened because of that and because he had that referee and blah, 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 blah. And then all those dudes are the dudes all on this guy's resume. His whole record is all those dudes. And you're acting like he's the GOAT. So that's like Pereira. And then like Conor McGregor, like, yeah, when you look at it, and again, I'm always that guy, like I hate the whole styles make fights, bad match. I hate that because it's like, hey, if you're going to be a fighter, don't use that excuse. Bad matchup, styles make fights, blah, blah, blah. No, just get more rounded. Get more well-rounded so that no one ever has to blame a style or a matchup or whatever. Just be a better fighter, bro. Like if you're in a poker tournament or like a chess tournament, you can't be like, oh, well, you know, I'm not good at the en passant, you know, like if only I could, hey, get better so that you could win and not have an excuse, right? Why is it any different with, oh, well, it was a bad matchup because I don't grapple. Grapple! Are you going to want to be one of these dudes that retires and maybe you want an interim title? Maybe you want a BMF title and you'll just be in your rocking chair like, man, if only I learned how to grapple. Just learn how to grapple. But I felt the same way about Conor. Like, you look at the guys he beat and it's like, okay, bunch of featherweight NPCs. Okay. And look, bro, it shows you how biased people are. I don't know how many times I said, oh, how do I want to say this? I think I want to set it up. Okay. If Josh Hokett, if Joshua Nathaniel David Michael Hokett IV, if he went into the fight against Derek Lewis, and knocked him out in the first 2 seconds, everybody would have been saying, oh, lucky. Oh, he caught him. Flash knockout. Oh, we need to see it again. We didn't see what Lewis could do against him. We need to see it again, right? Everybody would have been doing that. If Sean Strickland, I can't stand the guy, makes me feel sick. If Sean Strickland fought Chamoyev and it was like an accidental freak like Yair Rodriguez kind of like and just knocked out Chamoyev. Freak knockout doesn't mean anything. Need to run it back. Chamoyev didn't even get to do what Chamoyev does. That could have happened to anybody, blah, 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 right? If Gain would have accidentally put his whole elbow through the skull of Pereira and everybody, oh, well, we didn't see what Pereira could do, blah, blah, right? Okay. So don't be a hypocrite. You're with me, right? When those kind of flash knockout things happen, people look at it that, oh, well, we don't really know. Because that could happen to anybody. Puncher's chance. It was too much of a freak thing. Who knows? Okay. I always used to, back in the day, reference that's what it was with Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo. And people, oh, what a hater. That's just how clean his precision was. And his timing, that's just how perfect he was. And he dreamed it, he manifested it. And that's how, and they just found all these colorful ways. It was the same thing that people would have hated on Hokett for. That they would have hated on Strickland for, that they would have doubted and said, doesn't count, got to run it back, got to do a rematch. We didn't even see what the other guy could do. This isn't a fair enough measure of someone's capabilities. It's a freak thing, could have happened to anybody, right players at the right time. Okay, well, how about when Conor did it? Oh, that was the best. Bias. So you look at all his NPC featherweight matchups. You look at what he did with Aldo, freak thing, could have happened to anybody. Aldo could have just as easily done that against him. It happens. Look what happened with Diaz. Alvarez, really? Alvarez? You have to look at what people have done around that. Just like people thought it was, people just completely wrote off Paddy Pimblett until they saw what Gaethje did to Ilya. And now it's like, okay, Paddy's not great, but maybe he's not as bad as we thought he was. So when you see like other outings of Alvarez and the way he did them and who they were, who those people were, how they went down, it's like, okay, I know that's kind of like the monumental. That's when Conor became champ, but it's not like he beat Khabib for it. There was a time where that title just kept changing hands like crazy, and there was no real guy that was just dominating it. It was like, okay, it was Alvarez's turn. He kind of had it, and then he didn't have it, and then he's not. Oh, Alvarez, I don't really think he had that. Now, look, I know he had some good fights, but Alvarez was never gonna be a Oliveira. He was never gonna be a Khabib. He was never even gonna be even what Ilya did. All I'm trying to say in this long-winded way is when people say, well, you think Conor's going to come back and be in his prime? I didn't really even believe in his prime. I'm a Conor denier. I didn't really even think his prime was his prime. I don't think he had a prime. He had good marketing. He had good Dana White friendship. He had that Dana White power, the driving force. I think I came up with Dana White power before Dana White privilege, if I remember correctly. But here's the thing. We don't want Conor to come back for his fighting capabilities. That's not why we enjoy him being in the mix. Who actually would think that?